Hello everybody. Oops. Okay. Please let me know if something's still. Okay, please let me know if you can hear me. Yes, I do feel much better, but I still have a little bit of dizziness and headache, and at least I can breathe, because yesterday I couldn't breathe properly. So this might not be as long as usual, but I'm still going to be able to show you a few things. It's the first time that I'm using this camera. To be very honest, I'm not very happy with it. So, hi Darlene, Karen, Elaine, Raven, Robbie, Ellen, Judy, June. Hello, hello. Okay, is the volume loud enough for the sound? Okay. So, what I wanted to show you is how to make certain dragonfly wing beads by using certain textures and colors, and they come up absolutely gorgeous. But it all depends on using some textures. Remember what I was saying, that it's enough for our brain to perceive a piece of something that brings in mind the big picture. Like if you see something that's got, little cells and stuff, you will think of a dragonfly wing. So in that respect, I'm going to show you how you can do some butterfly wing beads that look like $1,000,000. It's true, you will need a little bit of materials to get the effect, but you don't have to have a whole bunch of it. You can get the look just by using a few of them. So let me show you how you can do it. First of all, the best is to use a translucent clay, but you can do it with white clay as well. And I have this on the thickest setting on my machine. And oh gosh, sorry if the mat under my chair got messed up. Come on, you stupid thing. And then what you need is a texture that's got cells. And in that you can use a simple texture like a makings. You can make your own if you want, only that you have to have a very steady hand. So you can use this one. Oh, sorry, I was showing it, I told you I'm still a little dizzy. I was showing it under the microphone. No problem. So you can use the cobblestone of makings. That would work just fine. Then you can make negatives. And why I say that makings are the best, because remember, makings can be used on both sides, while the excuse me, the scalpy ones, they are only one-sided. Some areas of the scalpies could be used the same as some of the red long mats could be used, but you need to do the negative of it using some either Oyumaru or Bake and Bend. I dropped something that went on my foot, but I cannot see what did I drop. So first we are going to get some clay through the machine. Now very, very careful, because as I said, this has an in and an out. What you need to do is for the lines between the cells to be out. So if you want them to be out, you put the outer part, you put it with the outer part directly on the clay, so that the area that's got the lines going in the texture would be right next to the clay. And this is way too much because it's going to get longer as it goes through the machine. So I'm going to give it a cut like this. You don't want them, especially if you want to do them two-sided, you don't want them to be too thick. And then I'm going to do a cut like this. And then I'm going to give it pretty much half of it. Now let's see how that works. So remember, I want these lines of the texture to be on the other side than where I put the clay. Now I'm going to move to the camera on the pasta machine, and I'll show you how to do it. First of all, you need to put the clay. You need to put the clay before it goes into the machine separate, because otherwise if you do it like this, it's going to bunch up. So you need to only get it on the texture at the base and then separate it like this. And you want to go on the same, pretty much on the same thickness that you went when you first did your sheet. And there we go, we have our clay. And it is a perfect way, to get an absolutely best indentation. My clay, I had to put a lot of clay softener in it, so I didn't use any whatchamacallit, Armor All or anything, because it was kind of oily to start with. But you'll end up with something like this. Another thing that you can do, just a second. Remember when I showed you how to do the, oh god, this mat is driving me nuts. When I showed you how to do the textures for making turquoise matrix, again, you want it to look like this. So if you want it to look like this, you need the negative of this. So you would need this one. The same, Karen, the same setting that you have the clay on. You don't change the setting. So let's see if I get, and on this one I am going to put a little bit of Armor All. And again, there are, I'll show you a few other textures that you can use for this, only that, as I said, you need to use the negative of them. Either use bake and bend, and remember I have several videos, several tutorials showing how to do bake and bend textures, or you can use Oyumaru. And because this is bake and bend, so it's still polymer clay, I'm using the Armor All. Okay, where's my big, I lost my big cosmetic sponge. It's somewhere. Darn it. Yeah, I told you everything that was supposed to happen yesterday afternoon didn't happen. It was like I got hit by a bomb. And it's, you have to think that I went to the eye doctor, and when they do all those tests, you put your face against all those machines. So it's enough that somebody didn't wipe properly one of them, and someone with a poor immune system like me, because no matter what they tell you, your immune system never recovers after chemo, never recovers properly. It's enough for somebody like me to get sick. So I got this one, but this one is not as good as I would want it to be. You want it to be more, and you can actually do it by your own hand, and I'll show you how. Because what you want is to have a lot of cells raised, cell walls raised, not cells themselves raised. So the way you can do it, and you'd want to go actually a little bit thinner, so I'll go like on a 4. And get it nice and flat with no air bubbles trapped in. Hi Anna. Hi everybody I didn't say hi to. So what you want to do is to grab your ball stylus and start making of course if you have a texture already made, but in this respect only, honestly I'm going to tell you, only Oyumaru will follow the very, very fine lines, because you need something that's got very, very fine lines. One of these, hold on, let me try and grab it. One of these would do it. If you take a negative from it, would do a great job. But I don't have one right now. So gosh, I cannot wait for that new arm to come in the delivery for the camera, because this one is so hard to prop. And then the whole idea is to get your cells really, really close to each other, so that you'd properly have only the walls of the cells between them, and you don't even have to have them equal or anything. Just make sure that you have just the walls of the cells lifted up. See how it stops? And I don't know, I don't like the image of this camera as much as I thought I would. I might return it. I don't like it. It doesn't seem as clear as the other one. And it's like more than twice the price. And I'm gonna get one that's even smaller. This one the same, this one the same, and this one I guess. Because your other issue when you do it like this and you do it by hand and you don't have already a mold done will be to make sure that these little cell walls are the same height, if you get my meaning. And again, it all depends on how fine you want your dragonfly wings to be. If you want them to be more on the delicate side, or if you want them to be just to give the impression of, you know, these are dragonfly slash cicada wings. So once you do this, you kind of want to make sure that they are relatively flat. So very gently do this, very gently, very, very gently. You just want to make sure that these are the same height. And then what we are going to do is, just a second, and it is entirely up to you which of them you want to use, because there are several that you can use of the cutters. Gosh, this mat is driving me nuts. Okay, you can first use the a simple teardrop cutter. Then one of these, I think, is the is the sunflower cutter. Let me get you the direct link to PolyClay Play. Cutters. The teardrop one is the simple Premo cutter. But the other ones that I'm going to show you, except for one, you can find on PolyClay Play. It's towards the end. If you click on all cutters, it takes me a little bit to get to the bottom of it, to the bottom of the page, because she's got so many cutters. And she, okay, so one of them would be the water lily petal cutter. So this is this one. And the other one is the, I think it's the sunflower. Let me get to it. Yes, the sunflower. And again, it's whichever of them you feel like it. Another one, this is one that I got from AliExpress. It's actually a penny cutter, and there are some other ones. I'm trying to remember what they are for another kind of flower that only have this, but this is straight. But it would this one would also kind of suggest a dragonfly wing. So let's go with this one. Let's go with the teardrop. And we have a teardrop here. And these other ones I'm going to use kind of like all the other kinds. The problem is, make sure when you do the cutting, try to, so remember, this is the makins, and I think this is the cobblestone. When you do the cutting, try to select an area that will have the longish cells. Hi, Tia Lisa. That will have the longish cells towards the narrower part of the cutter. So let's put one here, Because see how there's a lot of little long cells here. So let's get these on the top of the cutter. And I'm going to do another one. I turned it upside down, so I might have to go with the X-Acto blade. Let me first try and press it properly. See if it comes off. Yeah, I guess I did cut it properly. Because what you do after you're done, you glue them together with the wire in between. Okay, then let's get one of the other ones. Let's get this longish one. So let me choose an area that's got a lot of longish longish cells. So I'm going to use. So the idea is to get the longest cells towards the, what the heck, towards the more narrow part. This one is almost equal, but and wider cells towards the wider part. So see, if I go here, this would be pretty much it. So let's get one here. And you might have to go with the clay several times through the machine until you get all your exactly what you want. So if I would go like this, maybe. This should work. I'm not gonna make a second one for this because this was just to show you how to do the cell thing. And now we are going to start playing. Let me get these out of the way so I don't get all over them all the time. And now you can start absolutely playing. Yeah, I'm still hurting a lot because as I said, for me, a bottle. No, it wouldn't. But you can do whatever you want to do. The idea is that you need to have some cell lines. How you manage to do it, it's completely all up to you. You can do with a ball tool, but if you want to do many of them for a venue, it might take too long. You know, you can just simply use a texture. And I said I was going to show you the bangles from the when I did the I cannot lift this too much, so let me try and do the focus thing on this one. And I said properties. Okay. Okay, so this is the one that I did with the cane from the 101 complex canes tutorial. And you will be able to see how I did this in the bangle tutorial that I hope to finish today. I'm almost done with it. I only need to do the sound. And at this point, I'm waiting to see if I will be able to do a soundtrack or if I have to do subtitles, because you can see I still am a little bit short of breath, so I'm not entirely sure if I can do a narration on that one. And the other one, the one with the silk screen, what I did, I went in and I'm probably going to do another layer because I used shellac, but I went in and I painted on top of the silk screen. I painted more of the color shift deco art, and I painted in the silk screen after everything was said and done. And it looks really pretty, especially in regular normal daylight. Let me try and make this light a little bit warmer, more daylight like. So this would be a more daylight color. But as I said, I need to do another coat of shellac, and this is the do-it-yourself shellac. Remember, I did a tutorial on this. I'm going to try and link it. And it's one of the easiest, and if you do it thin enough, then you can apply several coats until you get all this piano-like finish. It's the glossiest of all varnishes. Okay, let's get back to our thing, and let me refocus the camera. Don't you think that it doesn't look as good and clear as the other camera? Don't know, to me that's how it looks. Maybe I'm still feverish. I don't know. Okay, no, at this point I might be knitting in about half an hour, but I'll know. If I start having pangs of pain, I'll just get up and go get one. But it'll be like 3 hours now, 3.5 hours. The shellac works fine in humid climates, much better than like the Mod Podge or the Diamond Glaze. So the first thing that we want to do, and I'm going to use alcohol inks, and then I might use some mica powders. But one of the things that you really want to do is to get a pearl alcohol ink. Unfortunately, I have no idea why, but what the heck happened here? Something happened. I have a spillage. The jacquard doesn't, it's like it exploded or something. Jacquard doesn't do, except for the gold and the silver that come in the exciter pack, they don't sell the pearl and the copper and the other metallics pearlescence. They don't sell them in the small bottles, only in these big bottles. You can find all of them on at PolyClay Play, but if you really cannot afford it, you can simply just get a little bit of, I'm going to tell you how you can make, you need just one drop, a droplet of Elmer's glue, and you mix it with alcohol, but just a droplet, very little, and then you put some mica powder and you'll get something similar to this. But with the pearlized mica alcohol inks, you always need to really shake it to get all the stuff. And I got a whole bunch of, I don't know what happened to this one. It looks like it exploded. Oh. Wipe my fingers. And I'm going to get a paintbrush. You need a fine paintbrush. This is my broken. I have this paintbrush that's fully. I broke this. I dropped it and I stepped on it, but it's so nice and soft that I'm not throwing it away. For some reason, I cannot say goodbye. And I'm going to get a little bit of this pearl powder, alcohol ink. Yes, isopropyl alcohol. Remember, when you have the methyl alcohol and in the isopropyl alcohol, if you want to do those blooms, do it only with isopropyl alcohol. The methyl alcohol doesn't do as good. So what I'm going to do first, I'm going to pretty much douse my wings with this, making sure that it goes in the cells, inside the cells, because that's what I want to pearlize, the inside of the cells. Hi, Hermie. And do it already on your baking tile. Don't do it on something that you'll have to lift and manipulate after. But make sure that you doused the inside of your cells. I think that this one had some pink on it, but that's fine. I didn't clean it properly last time, but that's still okay. Then what I'm going to do, I'm going to get, for example, a little bit of blue, and I'm going to use it in this exact thing. Yeah, I guess I could, or I could simply snap off that and file it a bit. And I'm going to use a toothpick for my blue, because I want just little. Okay, it's not working as good as I wanted it to work, but still. And you don't even see what I'm doing here. Let me see if it works better with the paintbrush, because what I want to do is to do a little bit of and then okay, I made the mess over. I told you, I think I'm still a little bit feverish. And I want to clean this paintbrush. I normally I'm like a cat. I don't get myself dirty, but unless I want to get myself dirty. But today I'm still feverish, I guess. Yeah, this is the Team Ranger. I avoid using Ranger because it's soluble in water, and if you have to sand something, or it has to be in water for any reason, the color will come off. It happened to me with my faux Petersites, and I cried. Okay, then I'm going to simply wash off these. I used to love the Rangers because of the colors, but after the experience I had with and it wasn't just Petersite, it was also some Tiger's Eye that I had issues with. Okay, this one is a little bit too strong. I'm patting off some of it. And of course you can use other colors, any other pastels. You can do all kinds of color plays. You don't have to use just this. I mean, yeah, rangers are great for cards and stuff, but not for everything that we are doing with the polymer clay. And you can use it on other things that will never touch water. But if it's something that will have to be in water for any reason, not a good thing. Because I still remember I had some when I was experimenting with the colors on how could I get the color, I had some Petersite that I had tried to color with the red rangers, and something happened and I didn't finish sanding all my stuff, and they were left in the water bowl, and in the morning when I went to finish sanding, I took them out and they were not red anymore, they were just gold. So yeah, I cried. Okay, then we can use another little combination of pearl. You know, we can put first. Of course, I had to get it upside down. And why did I use so much? Oh, God. If I don't topple a whole bunch of this on myself, that's still good. But I wonder what the heck happened with the lid of that. I cannot believe that they might have used the plastic that's alcohol sensitive, because this is how it seems to me. It's, you know how if you leave something with acetone over plastic, how it starts dissolving it? This is exactly how this lid feels like it's starting to dissolve, and it's the original lid. So yeah, I cannot believe that they would use a plastic that's alcohol sensitive. I have it all over my hands. And that's why I messed up and I put so much, because I couldn't, my fingers were sticking to the bottle. I would test it, Tia Lisa. Honestly, I would test it. With water, definitely not. But with the mineral oil, I would test it, because a lot of these waxes actually have mineral oil as a base. So, but as a general idea, I wouldn't leave something. I would rather go for. I would use the Opal Magic Wax and then cover it with something, you know, with a varnish. It got so sticky that it started taking off my nail polish. Something wrong about this. Anyway, so let's get some other color. Let's say a magenta would look nice. I'm gonna just put a drop here. And let's see, rainforest green would be good. And I'm going to just, yeah, but it's not the bottle, it's the lid. So I'm mixing some of the pearl with the magenta and with the rainforest green. And I'm going to put just a little bit at the ends here. I know I use too much alcohol ink, but I have a cold, that's my excuse, and I'm sticking with it. Okay. So I'm going to get it thinned out and picked up, because I just want a hint of this other color towards the tip. And let's use the green on these ones. Again, I'm gonna put just at the tip here. And bring it down. And then soak it up. Okay, let me put this out of the way so I don't mess up with it. Sorry, I caught my rubber mat in one of the wheels of the chair, and it's been driving me crazy. I'm picking up some colors. So for the next part, you can use, once this is completely dry, you can use mica powder if you want, but my best advice is to use some paint of some sort. And here I'm using the Silks acrylic glaze. That is absolutely gorgeous. And by the way, I posted on Facebook the artist who makes this, who's specialist in epoxy resin and pouring. She just came up with some new colors, and I posted on the Facebook page with a coupon that gives you 20% off your entire purchase. So I'm going to use, this is the Rich Cobalt. And remember, always you want to do the dry rub. So these ones need also to be thoroughly stirred, because they are a little bit translucent. They are not completely opaque. That's the beauty of the silks glazes. And the silk glazes, once you bake them, they don't really need another glaze or anything. That's why, I mean, they are the glaze by themselves. So I'm going to use this Rich Cobalt. I'm going to actually get it from my, and then remember the dry rub, you put the paint on a piece of paper towel, and then with your finger almost dry, I need a little bit more. So the paint on your finger has to be almost dry, not a lot of paint. Oh, I see I got too much and I got a lot in it, in that cell. my boob. But remember, I don't have depth perception. So this needs to be wiped off because it's going to look like crap. I boo-booed. Who was the person who said that I never boo-boo? You see, I boo-boo. Just like anybody else. So dry rub, because you want to touch only the raised areas. You don't want to color the insides of these. And of course, as I said, you can use mica powders. I think some of that crappy lid thing got under this. You can use mica powder instead, but only if you're very, very adept with your fingers, so you wouldn't touch the inside of the cells. And you can also use some color shift on these raised walls. I'm gonna put a little piece of color shift here too. But see how it already gives the impression of the cells in a dragonfly's wing. Again, I pressed too hard. I don't know what's wrong with me. I mean, I know what's wrong with me. I'm still a little feverish, but this is unpardonable. And see how strong the pigments on this thing are? With any regular acrylic it would come off right away, but on this one it's really, really, really strong. I'm gonna wash my hands with lava soap here in a minute. Yes, lava soap is one of the things that you want to have at all times. Now, this is a folk art and it is gunmetal, and there's another one that's a black sequin that you can use. But again, stir it really, 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 really good. This one's almost dried out. I hate it when this happens. And again with the same, I need to check all my acrylics to see if they are still good. And again, I'm going to use the dry rub. With how messed up I'm right now, I'm liable of toppling this. So again, dry rub so I don't touch the inside of the cells. I should have stirred it a little bit more. And let's see how it looks like with the color shift. I'm gonna add a little bit of a color shift. I made the mess. And I'm putting it on my face too. Because I have black color shift, I just need to find it. So there is a black color shift. It's black flash. And again, with the color shift, you need to make sure that you stir really, really, really good. Good afternoon, Bennett. Oh yeah, turpentine would kill styrofoam. You only use, the only thing you can use with turpentine without a fear of it damaging it is glass. Okay, so again, dry rub. And I told you, I'm sorry I cannot show you better, but remember at this point I don't have depth perception properly, and that's why I mess up with the inside of the cells. Normally I wouldn't. So you only need to touch the outer part of these cell walls, not the inside as well. So this pretty much gives you the allure of a dragonfly, and there are more. Hopefully by next Sunday I'll feel better and I'll show you more of these and how you can make beads using molds. Oh, hi. Konglui Wrong, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it good. She's my spiritual daughter. She lives in Alaska and she has a channel herself and a business with she's doing all kinds of remedies, plant remedies for various, for depression and things like this. I wish you would have caught me in a day when I wasn't recovering from a really bad cold spell. But so this would be the idea, and I'm going to get these baked, and then I'm going to show you, I'm going to get all of this baked, and then one of them I'm going to already have it put together. So next Sunday I'll be able to show you how to put it together for baking again, and then the one that's already put together will put resin on it. And not only that, but for next time because I know I have it somewhere here. At least I thought I did. Well, I do not find it right now, but I'll have to check what I did with it. There's a dragonfly, let me find it. There's a dragonfly mold from a PolyClay plane. And the heck, again, no photos. I think the web is broken again. I don't see photos. Anyway, I'm gonna put the link up here. And I will show you how to get dragonfly beads using molds. And there are some, or using stamps, because there are some stamps too. trying to see if, and there are more on the, I don't know, I cannot see any photos on PolyClay Play all of a sudden. Again, remember how the other day we couldn't see any kind of photos on Facebook and other websites? I cannot see anything on PolyClay Play. Come on. I see the where it should be. Anyway, this is a Dragonfly stamp, and I'll post more when after this is properly. No, it didn't change. This is the link that comes up on the search. Hold on. But I will put after the, because you know that it takes sometimes even an hour for the live to be processed by YouTube and come up properly. And when that happens, because that's when usually I change the thumbnail and everything to make it faster, easier to be found. But whenever that happens, I will post some links both for PolyClay Play and for my yeah, that's one, but I don't see I cannot see the image. And I will post a link both for the PolyClay Play and for my Amazon influencer store, so that you can see. You don't have to get all of them, but just one, so you can see how to do beads using that. Because you can use them, you can use the stamps. You're going to tell me, well, with the stamps, won't be the lines in the mold? Yes, they will be, but I'll show you another trick with that, how to do, and that will be valid for butterflies as well. Yeah, mine it doesn't. See, I don't know. It's probably something in the browsers. I think that's what it is. Not. Let me check if it works in Chrome. Let me see how it does in Chrome. Because I was on yeah, in Chrome it's fine. In Chrome it's just fine. And I know that I have it. It's somewhere here. But I have to find it, to find what I did with it. The Dragonfly mold. And I think that I have a few in my Amazon influencer store. The idea is that either with a mold or with the stamp, I'll be able to show you how to do this, and including for some butterfly wings. So yeah, it's probably Firefox needs updating. Let me check, because I'm not going to update to run out of it, but no, it says it's up to date, so it might need some fixes. Yeah, it might be on the phone, depending on what you're using on your phone. But anyway, this would be the idea of one of the ways of doing this. And of course you can use, let me show you another thing that you can do, because I said you can use mica powders, but not only mica powders, you can use some glitters before you bake. So this is an American body art. It's from their Elements. This is a sparkler, actually, not a glitter. Remember, the sparkler is that thing that's in between mica powder and glitter. It's a super, super fine glitter. So let me grab just a little bit. And you want it in the cells. You don't want it on the cell walls. And this should have been done before doing the cell walls, because that way you can use some tape and lift anything that might still get caught on the polymer clay on the cell walls. But the cell walls you can color even after it's baked, if you use acrylic paint, not mica powder, because of course the acrylic paint can stick on it even if it's baked. Only for the mica powder you need the clay raw. So let me refocus the camera so you can see better how it looks with glitter. Okay, it's not good enough. And definitely I don't like this camera. That's a fact. I think I'm gonna have to return it. It does that is not 60 FPS, like I'm not the Pope. Let's see if this will work better for showing the glitter. Anyway, it looks really pretty once it starts glittering. So you can use some glitter as well on it. Okay. So this will be it for today. As I said, I'm going to have these baked so that next time I can show you how to finish the bead itself, and then we'll do how to do this with molds and stamps, how to do other beads, because these beads will be definitely flatter beads, but I'll show you how to do round beads. Actually, it will be oval beads because we are going for the shape of the dragonfly wing. So I'll see you next Sunday, and I hope you liked these. I'll post a short video with them, or what I did on this one, especially because on the other one you'll see with the tutorial I'll be posting very shortly. As soon as I figure out if I can talk well enough, or if I have to do subtitles, because my throat starts hurting. So I'll see you all next Sunday, and thank you very much for being here. I love you all. Have a wonderful Sunday.